Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another One Piece chapter reaction. Today we're going to be reading One Piece chapter 1177, and I am completely unspoiled, but I am very excited to be back from the break week. I hope you all enjoyed the One Piece live action, by the way. I reacted to it here on this channel. I haven't done any other content on it just yet. I think I am going to do a video, but I thought it was amazing. Episode 2 obviously was perfect with Laboon, but Episode 7 might be objectively the best one in live action yet for either season, so hope you all enjoyed it. But first off, I gotta say, special shout out to 3-Day Trip in the chat. 3-Day, it has been so long. We have all been wondering how you've been, where you've been. I hope all is good with you. It is seriously such a pleasure to see you back in the chat. Shout out 3-Day Trip for being here. Seriously, thank you. I think I saw you said you also haven't read it yet. So I won't be mad if you dip out to go read it, but I just had to shout you out real quick. It is seriously so nice to see you. Also, you just got gifted a membership from Bean Boy. Bean Boy, my guy. Thank you very, very much. W's in the chat for my guy Bean Boy. But 3-Day, it is seriously such a pleasure to see you. It has been far too long. I hope you're doing great. I hope you've also been keeping up with One Piece, because things have been amazing since the last time we spoke. So I hope you're enjoying it. But seriously, thank you so much for even being here. I'm just glad to see you. I'm glad to see you're okay, or at least I assume. So thank you. Dirty Otters, you said chapter is out. Chapter is out. Yes, it came out like 30 minutes ago or so, and as soon as I knew it was out, we got ready to go live. So yeah, I can't wait for this. In a weird way, watching the live action had me more excited to read the manga in a very weird way. So yeah, I'm seriously so pumped. Real quick, I know I got a couple super chats and stuff here. Quanidin with the $2 super chat. Great chapter, 9 out of 10. You know that you and I usually agree with each other, so I'm excited. And honestly, I feel like 9's kind of low, but like you're usually pretty accurate with mine, so like I'm not going to be mad at a 9 by any stretch. Also, Kush Daddy, member for 26 months, my guy. You said OP opening 26 or 28, us versus Carmine. Is that how you say it? Carmine or Carmine, maybe? Probably Carmine. Which reminds me of Gears of War. Wasn't there a guy named Carmine, the robot guy, the sniper guy? I remember him. He was like probably my favorite guy. But I actually don't know the One Piece openings that well, but I did see your chat before the stream started. So what I did was I looked them up. And I actually like both of them a lot. I know they're more recent ones, but I actually haven't been keeping up with the anime too much. I still need to do like a watch through to the end of Egghead, and then because I know that the Elbaf is starting soon. But between those, I gotta go OP opening 26, and maybe like the visuals played a role in that. But 28 was really good, but I felt like 26 was almost like magical. Like it brought back kind of like the feeling of wonder that I feel like a lot of us have with One Piece. So I really liked it. The way that some of the stuff matched up with the music. I remember like young Sentomaru looking at Kizaru shoot a laser into the sky that made like fireworks. The way it matched with the music just was like, it was too good. So I'm going 26, but 28's very good. Very good. RL Pulsar, probably Mick Pulsar, but now the names are a little bit different. Member for 21 months, almost at the 2-year mark. That is hard to believe. I feel like I say it maybe every week that I can't believe how long some of these are now, but I can't tell you guys how much it means that you've been supporting the channel this long. Seriously, thank you very, very much. I also see Kanu said 9.5 out of 10. I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, in a weird way, the live action made me more hyped for this chapter. It brought, not that I wasn't excited already, but it brought back even like more of that like fundamental excitement for the One Piece story. So I'm very pumped. Friend Harper with the $5 super chat with the "How's it going" sticker. It's actually going great, and I like that you picked this one. Well, he has a headband on. I was gonna say he's working out. He doesn't look like he's working out. It looks like he's doing the opposite, but he does have a headband on, and that made me think of working out. And I actually just got done running a little bit earlier. It was my first run of 2026 because now it's warm enough to where my lungs won't get cooked, or not. Honestly, kind of the opposite of cooked, because like the cold air really messes with my lungs. But now things are better, so yeah, it's going great. It was a very appropriate sticker, so thank you. And let's see. Oh, Reese Lucas, the Lonely Mage, my other goat with the 10 gifted memberships. Lonely Mage, thank you very, very much. W's in the chat. I already see W's everywhere. Birch with the Wookus, the Reese Wookus. Thank you very much, Lonely Mage. W's in the chat for sure. 10 memberships, that's crazy. Can't thank you enough, dude. Seriously. And then Schloop08, member for 11 months, almost a year. 1 month to a year. Great chapter. Love your streams, Schloop. You thank you, man. Thank you for your generosity and your positivity, honestly. Thank you. And then where are we? Oh, Mr. Bushido, with the two euro super chat. The live action was amazing. I need season 3. I am gonna definitely like and heart that. I mean, I try to like and heart all of the super chats, but definitely liking and hearting that one, because I agree. Live action gets a huge positive review from me. Maybe I am gonna do a video on it. I'm still debating on exactly like how I'm gonna frame it. Right now, I think I'm gonna talk about the moments in the live action that surpassed the manga and anime. So, which the fact I'm even thinking of that probably tells you how much I like the season. So I need season 3 too. I'm ready to see Crocodile show up. John Stoops, 6029 with the $5 super chat. One Piece live action season 2 was honestly surprising. I thought it'd be good, but it was fantastic, especially Usopp. I agree. He was the highlight of the Little Garden section by a mile for me. And not that it was like bad or like those episodes in general were bad or anything, but they were probably the weakest for me compared to the other ones. But Usopp was really good in those episodes. I was a huge fan. Then you said, as for today's chapter, 9.5 out of 10. John, thank you very much. As if I wasn't excited enough for the chapter. So thank you very much. Now that I know it has your sign of approval, I'm ready to get into this right after this final donation from GG's Boxcar, of course, the GOAT of the channel with the 5 gifted memberships. Shout out everyone who just got one. I see friend Harper got one, well deserved, because I know you just did the super sticker earlier. So thank you very much. W's in the chat for GG for sure. As we tend to do, and I know I said that was going to be the last donation, but one more, because the GOAT himself, Reese Lucas, had to slip one more in there. I'm looking forward to Wits, the One Piece most. I am also very much looking forward to that too. In a weird way, the live action made me more excited for that, because it's almost like the live action in some way was them re-envisioning the beginning of the story, and there's a few things that I genuinely think Oda would do in the manga now if he got to redo it based off what I saw with the live action. In episode 2, the stuff with Laboon, Oda said that was one of his favorite things from the season. I think some of those things he would actually do if he got to redo the story. So I'm also very excited for Wits, the One Piece remake. Because I also think it'll help capitalize on the live action hype, because if there's people who found the live action first, they might be more open to watching Wits, the One Piece remake, as opposed to the original, because it's probably going to be a little bit faster paced, obviously higher quality and things like that. So I'm also very much looking forward to it, as it might be yet another boost in the One Piece fandom, I guess you could say. So thank you all very much for the donation. Seriously, I can't wait for this chapter now. I'm very much on a One Piece high this last couple weeks here with the live action and everything. So. And we also have the new anime, like the new season of the anime coming out here in a couple weeks. So One Piece is in a really good spot. So, and 3 days here finally, which is maybe the biggest plus of all. So thank you guys. But now it is time to get into the chapter. So today we're going to be looking at One Piece chapter 1177, Fury. And so before the stream, I did look at the cover page right before the stream. I didn't even mean to. I opened the page to get the stream set up, and I glanced and I saw something. And I think you guys know what I probably saw in this cover page. There are moles on the cover page. You already know this is a 10 out of 10 cover page for me. I'm all over this. I'm super excited. I also see one of the moles has a straw hat. This is very reminiscent of the Nami cover page. So, because remember when Nami, it was actually the chapter where Ace died, I believe. Nami had like a hammer and was playing whack-a-mole, but every mole had a different design. And so this reminds me very much of that cover page. But cover request by Mrs. Fuji Fujin. Robin planting flowers in a mole-made flower bed. So the moles are digging the holes to make room for the flowers. I think that's very cool. Very, very cute little cover story here, but it's a 10 out of 10 automatically for the moles. So, yeah, hype cover page. Hype cover page. Maybe some Pluton foreshadowing. We will see. We will see. All right, now we're into the actual meat of the chapter here. Elbath West Village. Not good. Hurry. So we see everyone is kind of in pain from the aftermath of the fighting and stuff. Or not really aftermath because it's still ongoing, but... Cool, the giant warrior pirates are fighting. I've got a bad feeling about this. Get inside. You mustn't look. And look how pumped Colin is. Colin is loving this. You can see the little star things popping up. He's like mesmerized. Actually, the other kid too. I think he's like the Frankie of the young kids basically, because they all parallel the Straw Hats. Even he's got like excited eyes, which that reminds me a lot of the Straw Hats, because like think back to like Raizo, right? Whenever they were inside the whale tree and they're all like pumped about the ninjas, like they're all like, you know, like young boys like getting excited about typical stuff that young kids get excited for. I feel like it's very much the same thing, except they're actually kids this time. So I love that. I'm a big fan. Let's see. You've got to come back to us, Chiefs. Unlimited strength in bodies that regenerate. Nothing beats this invincible feeling. It's so liberating. Have a taste of our power. Dude, and Dory actually just got stabbed. There's actually blood. Captain Dory. To think that the fiercely proud giant warrior pirates would succumb to this. Shame on you all. Dude, Dory just took that attack. Wow. I'm not surprised because Dory's like kind of a boss, but kind of surprised that, I mean, that went straight through his arm and into his body, it looks like, or at least into his beard. I don't know. Shame on you all, you damn idiots. Sunrealm, near the lift, Choppers group. Stop this, we're comrades. We fought side by side. I can't bring myself to hurt you guys. DDT Rhodes? DDT, is that somebody's name? You don't want to cut us down? What an excuse. Join us, Kashi. Having an invincible body is the best. I thought they all went the other way. So we got Chopper and Scopper just chilling right in front of this battle, which is kind of wild. You can't bring yourself to hurt us, as if you could, even if you wanted. I dare you to try. Kashi, if you get caught between them, you'll turn into a demon too. That's right. The reversey. I kind of forgot about the reversey mechanics, but that's true. Which adds a very interesting layer to the fight, right? Like, not only are you fighting these guys who just regenerate, but you got to worry about your placement in context of them. I think that's sort of an interesting thing. Kashi, you've got to fight. It's impossible. We've been friends forever. I can't hurt them. And then, oh, they're yelling Kashi. So did Kashi get cooked? See, this is kind of sad because it's like, this is the, I don't know if downside's the right word because that was kind of obvious, but this is like the tricky part, I guess, to Domi Reversi is like, it's not just that these people regenerate and are powerful and everything. It's like you're attacking your friends, but your friends don't have the same hesitancy at hurting you, right? So there's like that mental layer to it, and I think that's kind of what Oda's diving into right now. Hey, Gantonio. Okay, we've been buddies for a long time, and you never change. Whenever you ask for just one bite, you always go and eat half of it. Sorry, Chief. Hold on, wait, let me see this again. Okay, so Brogy, so this guy's name is Gantonio, which is very interesting. Also, major shout out to Rapo with the 50-pound super chat. Rapo, my guy, seriously. Give me 1 second to read that, and I will. Thank you very, very much, though. I read part of it, and I like what you're cooking, so I want to give it its proper time. But thank you very much. I will get to that very shortly. So this guy's name is Gantonio. We've been buddies for a long time, and you never change. Whenever you ask for just one bite, you always go and eat half of it. And so he actually attacked him, right? Oh, okay. So what I was getting confused by is I saw Dory's arm missing, but that's from earlier. So yeah, so he's just attacking this guy. Looks like he cut him in half, and he said you always go and eat half of it. So I guess the joke is that he's cutting him in half right there. Gungnir, I think I say that right. I think he used that attack in Dressrosa, I believe, right? I think. And he cut another guy in half. Ikoku Sovereignty, another guy in half. Gigantic Drum. That's kind of cool that that's his attack, because his hammer kind of looks like that. And then we got 3 sword style Red Ogre Mega Fury. And Zoro, you know what this reminds me of is when Harold lost to Loki, because he also kind of, at least it looked like he was like breaking up into multiple pieces or disintegrating kind of. And this reminds me of that a little bit, because Zoro just cut this dude into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if you count the shield and the hand pieces. Maybe even more, and I'm just missing it. Translator note, possible Zoro pun referencing an idiom about a father's anger over his kids finishing all the rice. That's interesting, because it goes back to Brogy's initial comment about whenever you ask for one bite, and now we're ending this attack onslaught with a joke about kids eating all the rice. So I think that's kind of cool. I actually really like that. That fatal strike was a real beauty. Don't worry about a thing, guys. This won't kill ya. Is it me, or do they seem giddy about this? I agree with that. They're like unusually happy about the battle, you know? Chopper's group again. Run away, Kashi. Forgive me. I can't. Nom, Chomp, so we're about to see Monster Point Chopper teaming up with Scopper. Looks like Scopper's getting up, even though he's kind of weak, right now. Wait. Knock it off, you jerk. Gaga, haha. I don't feel a thing. What's going on? And then this guy fell backward, and he's getting Undomi reversied from a chopper slap. The hell just happened? What? So Chopper just slapped him, and that undid the transformation. What is happening? What? He turned back to normal? How? Okay, then we're moving on. Okay, so Oda's not going to explain this. At least maybe later in the chapter. What the hell is... I don't want to look at the chat just in case it gets revealed later. But the one thing I got to say about this right now, for one thing, I love Chopper's outfit. I love the striped pants and Monster Point. I think it just looks cool. But remember earlier in the arc, I've brought this up so many times, but Chopper was the main one who was wondering what this immortality is all about. And he was wondering that mainly with the Gods Knights, but now we also see it with Domi Reversi, so I think it still counts. But he was the one wondering about the immortality, which makes sense, because he's a doctor. He also learned under Kureha, who has a secret to eternal youth that nobody really cares about, apparently, that we still haven't learned about. So it makes sense that he would be like at the epicenter of figuring out how this immortality really works. But this is not what I was expecting. This is I have no idea what's happening here. Because, like, with Dory and Brogy, they killed each other, right? They decapitated each other. Chopper here just slapped the guy, and he's even mid-sentence like, oh, I don't feel a thing. You know what I mean? So, like, we know he didn't, like, die from the attack. Huh. And also, Kush Daddy, real quick, I did see, I'm glad you pointed this out, because I did notice it, but I didn't really cognitively check that they're probably connected. You said you can see the shadow being separated after the slap, and you can see it kind of flying backwards. So did Chopper just knock the shadow? Like, was a shadow controlling him, and this guy just lost it because of Chopper? Is that kind of what we're looking at? Huh. Very peculiar. He hit him with love. I don't know. I kind of like that idea. I'm gonna be honest. At least as like an early idea. Maybe it won't come true. That is crazy. I need to take a sip of water. That's so damn crazy. Kuya, Will Smith would be so proud of Chopper. Yeah, Chopper definitely channeled his inner Will Smith for sure. For sure. What was this guy's name? Did we learn what this guy's name was? The guy who they were fighting? No, he just said you jerk, so I don't think we know this guy's name, right? Huh. That's crazy. I'm just gonna move on, but that's objectively crazy. I have the air conditioner right next to me, and it gets so hot upstairs I'm still sweating, but literally the air conditioner is like 5 inches off screen right now. So if it looks like I'm sweating, that's just because, I don't know, the temperature balance in my house is not good. It's also turning to springtime, so like the heater's on, but it's also, I probably don't need it on. Anyways. Just assume that the sweating is from the intensity of the chapter. Outside the Owl Library. Black Ball, yummy. So we see Zeus is huge. I just now looked at the scale of the people at the bottom. Zeus is gigantic right now. We got Killingham here. You miserable... My God, just the sights we're seeing. Unhand me, Fishman. You're filthy. Okay, so that's right, because he had a little bit of Fishman racism last chapter, as many people in One Piece sadly have had before. And now we're seeing that again. So I'd like that Oda had Jinbei hold Killingham's head for that reason, so that's cool. You bark a lot for someone in your position. He just keeps yelling Bleg over and over. If we box him up, he shouldn't be able to reattach everything, right? Is it really... Excuse me. Is it really reattaching? I always thought of it just like reforming, but... Like, yeah, I guess, like, if you were to split them in half, like, is it that the two halves have to merge back together as opposed to, like, one half just, you know, regrowing the other half, if that makes sense? Is that... I guess I didn't really think about the mechanics of that, but is that how it works? Like, did they just separate the body? If we box him up, he shouldn't be able to reattach everything, right? This feels... Oh, I see Frankie tying up his body over there. Okay. Thanks for the help, everyone. I guess that's one way to deal with these guys, but it's hard to believe these are the kinds of knights they have protecting the Holy Land. Good point, Sanji. Always thinking ahead a little bit. We've just gotten too strong for them, Sanji. Luffy's an emperor now. You feel me? Frankie, I love that energy. He brought this during Wano as well. Whenever, remember, like when he ran over Big Mom's face and he's like, "I'm not scared of an emperor," or whatever. I forget exactly how he worded it. I like this. That's a big W for Frankie. I'm gonna turn my air conditioner off because, like I said, it got really hot and I was sweating. Now it's all of a sudden really cold because the temperature, like I said, in my house is not good. Give me 1 second. Cliff, watch out, buddy. Cliff is all over my chair legs, so he did not want to move. Cliff, actually, I'll tell you guys about this later if you care, but Cliff had a little bit of a medical episode on Monday. He's okay now, and we think he's going to be okay, but he was not in good shape on Monday, but he's okay. Let's see. That's great and all, but it pisses me off to think that such vermin were allowed to terrorize Elbaf. Humph. Underestimate us while you can, maggots. There's still one more who hasn't taken any damage yet. Don't let your guards down. It is kind of cool that they, like, captured a God's Knight so quickly. Like, it's cool for the Straw Hats. I don't know if I like it in terms of, like, the power scaling of the government, because this is, like, sort of like their last line of defense that we haven't really conquered yet, and now that we met them and took care of them right away, so I kind of hope there's another layer to the God's Knights stuff that we're about to see. Like, they're a little bit stronger than we think. My guess is they might, like, merge together or something, like the Emu and Saturn thing at God Valley. That's kind of my guess, but there's still one more. Or I already said that. Who hasn't taken damage yet? I already said that. Zeus. Fires keep breaking out all over Elbaf. Understood. All right, so he's about to make it rain, quite literally. For now, just keep the rain pouring. Got it. I'll give it my all. And we got Loki soaring over Elbaf. Dogahaha. And then we also got Hey Nami. Before I go any further, if you guys saw my video about Loki's fruit, I theorized that it may be another fish fruit to match Kaido, which now I think they said it's officially a dragon fruit, so that isn't true. But now we got Jinbei throwing this in there, and we have the potential Shirahoshi and Loki connections. I don't know where that's going, but maybe the stocks on Loki being a fish through some weird, probably not accurate definition, maybe that's a possibility. Maybe. Wait, if it's with you, don't tell me that's Loki. That's a buddy of yours? No way. That's so cool. Love that response from Frankie, too. Right? This guy's just too big. Are you out of your minds? There's Nami. You've gone and made friends with another freak? I'm glad you beat the monsters, but seriously, that thing's breath is only feeding the flames. Don't you see? If you have to burn Elbaf to the ground to stop the bad guys, it defeats the whole point. So knock it off. How is Loki gonna respond to this? Oh, dude, wait. This little panel with Ragnar patting Luffy on the back is top tier. That's one of my favorite panels of Elbaf, and I know that's like a big claim to make because there's a lot of awesome ones. But that's so Oda. That is so Oda. It's so One Piece. I also just have a soft spot for Ragnar, so I'm a big fan. You got me in trouble, Loki. I just want to crush all the threats to Elbaf, and we see Loki just blasting Luffy with a lightning blast. I don't even know I forget what this attack is called. It was some realm of Norse lore or whatever, right? But yeah, Luffy just got blasted, but obviously it's electric, so it's not going to hurt him, but that is crazy. Why the hell should I give a crap about your crewmates bitching? We got a lot of curse words this chapter. Is that like super accurate, TCB gang? Is that a creative liberty you guys are taking, or was that very clearly some strong language? Because it's just I like the dialogue here, especially because like Nami's always used lightning, and now this is like a lightning dragon, and I feel like it's kind of cool that they are like interacting now too. But oh, it's just lightning. Why didn't that work? I would have sent you flying if it did. And then Luffy just like ignoring it completely. I love that because now Loki's like, what the hell? Nobody's ever survived that before, you know? It's very much the same thing that we saw like with Enel. We also kind of saw it with Big Mom during the Wano rooftop battle. So I like it. Center of Branch 8 Brooks Group A. On our prediction stream on Sunday, my prediction is we were going to get back to Brook, and we did. So, hey, I'm pumped. Not even because I got the prediction right, but just because I want to see Brook. So, Usopp. Wait. Usopp's here? Is this the beginning of the Usopp lore? Had to finish off the water bottle. There's no more water left. We just gotta go. Is this the beginning of the Usopp hype? This feels like it, because I see Usopp on the ground, probably helping his friend. That seems like where Oda would start this. Usopp, please flee. I came here for my own reasons. She's dangerous. Looks like she's got like a smoking gun arm thing going on, or I can't really tell what that is. Something's going on with her right now. So I see some smoke for sure. Who would run and abandon a crewmate at a time like this? Brook, true warriors do not run. Usopp, I've always dreamed of visiting this place, to come to the land I've admired. I won't disgrace myself, not here. Besides, I'm burning with fury right now. Brook, these guys, they're looking down on Elbaf. Their gutless plan was to sneak here and kidnap children. They didn't use their own strength at all in this invasion. They relied on those monsters and hijacked the minds of all those proud warriors, trying to force them to slaughter each other. Now we see Gunkmu heading over with the quickness. How dare you carry out such a cowardly and underhanded scheme, you shameless bast. And then it looks like he just got a knee to the face, probably, because I think Gunko did that earlier in the arc to Brook, or somebody earlier. Before I continue, I'm sure there's more. They're weak. Here we go. Usopp's back up. The warriors of Elbaf fight with their own swords and shields. They put their own lives on the line. They're a nation of warriors. If you want to conquer them, do it fair and square. Fight them head on, you spineless coward. Oh my god. Usopp saying this to Imu's face? Woo! Dude, I've been waiting for this. We all have. It's not just me. I know we've all been waiting for this. This is like the exact type of vibe we've been waiting for. Now, how is Usopp going to become a brave warrior of the sea? There's obviously still a lot of work to do, but man, this is exactly the energy that I wanted from Usopp. What a great speech. A dominant ruler never sullies their own hands. Skull bomb grass. Fire. And so he shot a skull bomb grass, but it's like point blank, like it blew up in his face because it looks like Imu blocked it. And now we see Usopp is hurt big time. We see Gunkmu is regenerating. Honestly, kind of hype for Usopp because now he's hurt Gunko twice and forced some regeneration, which like not like a feat, but you know what? For Usopp, that he deserves some credit for that. Oh wow. Okay, for one thing, I love this tall panel of Luffy on the side that's like cut up vertically. I love that. And then but this panel with Loki overlooking Gunkmu. It's her. Usopp, Brook. She's the source of the haki we felt down in the realm of the dead. And now he's looking at his buddies, all beat up. Hey, Loki, I'm really pissed now. I wasn't planning on letting these guys off the hook anyway. Nika, Nidhogg, submit or perish. This battle shall divide the world. Chapter 1177, and no break next week. Woo! Yo, guys, that is, I mean, we say this every week, so I know I'm just a broken record, but that is one of the most hyped chapters I've read in a minute. I mean, again, I hate even comparing because they've all been so good. But this one, the Usopp hype merged with the beginning of the battle of Loki and Luffy versus Imu or Gunkmu. Like, this is a top tier One Piece chapter, I feel like. Like, this is, in the anime especially, if they do that speech correctly and they prop up the end of this battle, like, or the start of this battle, I should say, the end of the chapter. Oh man, that's gonna hit. Also, I like how it says face to face at last. We got to just recognize we got Luffy and Loki face to face with Emu right now. This battle shall divide the world. Croderick, you said this final panel's pure goosebumps to me. That's literally how I'm feeling right now. I can't even think of words to say. I'm shaking a little bit. I'm genuinely so pumped about this. That was such a good chapter. Oda, I love the way you did this all. And I love how, Usopp stood up to Emu a little bit, and then Luffy finding the aftermath of that is what really pissed him off. I think that's just awesome. Like, that's very One Piece. We've seen that a lot, Luffy really doesn't like when his friends get hurt, and so seeing Brook and Usopp there together, Usopp even being here, right? Like, getting involved in the Brook thing and having this speech, literally calling them out, like, oh, you gotta control all these guys and have them fight for you? Come on, coward, like, do it yourself. And then the chapter ends with Emu basically having to do it themselves because Loki and Luffy showed up. They're like, all right, well, now you gotta deal with us then, and it's about to be hype. And I also got to say one little thing here. I think it is so interesting and not surprising, but potentially interesting that Gunkmu calls Luffy and Loki Nika and Nidhogg, right? Not by their real names, but by that. And I'm wondering if that's because, like, Emu's fought them before. Like, maybe Emu fought the originals before they were put into the fruits, and so now Emu doesn't really think of them as the new age version of them. Emu just still thinks of them as the original creature or being, right? I think that's maybe what that's hinting. Either way, guys, this was a phenomenal chapter. I seriously, I'm so pumped for the next one. Like, and I think this happens a lot where the chapter ends and we want the next chapter right away. But this one in particular, like, if I was watching this in the anime, I would be like, not angry, but I'd be a little perturbed that there wasn't another episode to watch, right? Like, I'd be like, no matter what time of the night it is, doesn't matter if I've been, binging TV till 3-4 in the morning, I would make sure I stayed up for the next episode if I was binging this. So I can't wait for next week. I genuinely can't. This was so good. Yeah, 10 out of 10 chapter for me. I got to give it I've given a lot of high ratings, so maybe my ratings don't even count, but I'm giving this a 10. Maybe a 9.5 upon further review, or later I'll change it to a 9.5, but right now this was a perfect way to set up this fight. I think it was literally a 10 out of 10 way to do it. So let's go ahead and get into the super chats, because I know I did see a couple, especially Rappo's. I know I really wanted to read yours, so thank you again, Rappo, for the 50-pound super chat. You said, I feel the need to say to all One Piece fans out there that times are dark and things don't look so bright, but I want to go through this journey all the way to the end with everyone. I might get older, but my heart will forever be young and eager for adventure. And I agree completely, and I gotta say, like, chapters like this, and maybe that's kind of what inspired you to say this, I feel like this chapter in particular really capitalizes on kind of that feeling you're talking about. Like, when I see things like this, it's like, it makes me feel like no matter what happens, I gotta be here to see the end of this. And there's a lot of moments in One Piece that I think do that, but this was another really big week where, like, Usopp standing up for his friend, calling out the enemy, even though he has no business, fighting someone that strong. Like, he's not really that capable, right? But he's doing it anyway because it's the right thing to do. And then his friend comes in to pick up the slack for him and stuff. Like, that's so One Piece-esque. And so, and kind of like you're saying, the times are not good right now in a lot of the world, and it's very sad. But kind of like right now, like in Elbaf, you see people standing up for each other and that kind of thing, and fighting back. And I think it's a good chapter to say what you said there, Rappo, and I completely agree with you. And I hope everyone out there is doing well and as safe as possible, given the way the world is right now. But you know, at least we have some awesome One Piece chapters to take our mind away from what's going on, you know. So thank you, Rapo. Seriously, I completely agree with everything you said. That really means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, Rapo, who would run and abandon a crewmate at a time like this? Like that. Oh man, that's so Usopp, right? That's the thing that really is like making me emotional about the Usopp thing. Is it's a lot like Alabasta, right? Where they're like, wait, don't laugh at my friend's dream. It's similar to that, but different. You know, where he's standing up for his friend even when he really has no business doing so. And it's just, I feel like this is one of my biggest reasons for loving One Piece is this kind of messaging right here. So, yeah, this chapter really hit me. I got to be honest. So thank you again, Rapo. Seriously, thank you. Birch with the 16-month member message. Chopper just cured their ailment with death, and I actually saw that at some point whenever I was talking, and I wanted to comment on it, but I was like, I'll just do it later. It's weird because like we saw that last chapter where Dory and Brogy killed each other, or like quote unquote killed each other, because with Domi Reversi they regenerate, so it's kind of weird. But Chopper just slapped him, and that did it. So it's like, you know, it's like, did Chopper's slap kill him? Obviously it didn't, but in some ways I guess it did. It killed the Domi Reversi form, right? I genuinely still am not really sure what's happening there, to be completely honest. I think that's like, I like that Oda had it be Chopper. I just think it's very, very interesting, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Kush Daddy. You can see the shadow being separated after the slap. I think I said that one during the reaction. Yeah, that part is really like, what would Chopper be doing that would make a shadow pop out like that, or like whatever second soul is involved or something? I genuinely don't know. I feel like that is like the most random thing. 3 days, you said, I wonder if it's like Chopper helped them regain their human-like intelligence because it's a human fruit. Plume Black Hat, Chopper's making them humans again. He knocked the monster out of them, so Chopper brought his monster out by going into Monster Point, and then he was able to kick the monster out of them. Okay, you guys might be cooking. I like that little inversion there. That's very cool. That's a really cool twist. I wonder what the mechanics of it are, because Oda usually grounds it within like the rules of this power system and stuff. So like, I wonder how that works. One thing I just started thinking of is, could it be, Croderick, you kind of commented on it here. I'll say what I said first and I'll bring this up, but it could be tying back to Chopper trying to be the cure-all. Right, he wants to find the panacea, and I think it's probably that he is going to be the panacea, because they said that the panacea was a mushroom. His devil fruit looks like a mushroom, so I think that's where Oda's going, is that he is going to be the one who can cure everything. And so maybe that's where this is going, is he's like bringing their humanity back in a way, because maybe his awakening, like he can affect other people somehow, which like regular zones aren't typically supposed to, but I wouldn't be shocked if Oda's just gonna like mess with the rules as needed. So maybe that is it. He's like bringing their humanity back. Croderick, member for 9 months, my goat. You said Chopper, cure all mushroom, death equal cure all. It's interesting you say that too, because the mushroom he found actually was like a death mushroom, like a killer mushroom, and he, you know, fed it to Hiruluk, but he ate it anyway and all that kind of stuff. So there is like a little bit of an inversion there, where like that mushroom wasn't the cure-all, but maybe Oda's kind of giving us some messaging that like death and curing are closer than we think, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, because like here Chopper is killing them, but bringing them back to life in the same motion in a way, right? So maybe that's sort of the messaging. I mean, even Hiruluk said that eating a poisonous mushroom, like that's not when a man dies, right? That was a big part of his message. So there's a lot of like deep philosophical layers I think you could kind of read into. Also, I know I'm going out of order now. I will get back into order in a second, but Adam L, member for 2 months, my goat. great chapter, 9.8 out of 10. Loved all the goofiness. I might agree with 9.8. I said 10 earlier, but 10s are just, I can't be giving those out, that often. Like that, I gotta be a little more judicious. So I'm gonna go 9.8. I think I agree with you, Adam. Thank you very much for the member message, by the way. All right, now to get back into order of the super chats here. Rapo, again, the GOAT with the 10-pound super chat. I start to believe that the main body is preserved in the underworld when they get Domi Reversi'd, and the devil shapeshifts himself to the same person. And when he is eliminated, the OG body comes back to surface. I think I might be agreeing with you. Maybe, I think you're loosely correct. Oda might add some weird rules to it, but I think you might be right. Because, the way they flip into the ground, and then the one that comes out is, the opposite one, right? Like the normal body flips into the ground, and then the demon body comes out. It's almost like that version's going to the underworld, and the demonic version's coming up. And so I wonder if it's it's almost like a Zone Awakening is kind of how I'm thinking of it, but a little bit different, where it's that demon is taking over their body, so to speak, which maybe, I know we just said that their body might be going to the underworld, so again, I don't really know exactly how this works, but it kind of feels like they're being taken over by another demon, kind of like an awakened Zone, but maybe just straight up demonic, right? Not a normal fruit, just an actual, not devil fruit, just devil. And it's they're coming up controlled, almost like it's a Zone. And then here, where Chopper smacks this guy and we see the shadow popping out, I wonder if that's almost like the demon that took him over. And so once you kick that demon out, then they flip back to normal because the demon's not controlling him anymore. It feels something like that, right? Or you said shape-shifting, could be that. The body goes down there, and then the demon just assumes their form to kind of hide who they really are in a way. I almost think you could look at it too, instead of somebody eating a devil fruit and getting a transformation, it's almost like a devil is doing the reverse. Instead of a person getting the devil's powers, it's the devil powers are borrowing a body, right? So I wonder if that's maybe where this is going. We might learn a little bit about how devil fruits really work, or the origins or something. I think we're close. Again, I don't know exactly what the answer is going to be, but the fact they flip into the ground, I think, is it's more than just symbolism, personally. Maybe I'll be wrong, but Mr. Bushido, I see you got a few in a row here, so I'll go through all of them. For €2, sorry. Vivi gave me a shout out on live action. Also, hi 3-Day. Yeah, 3-Day, major shout out to 3-Day. I saw you were here earlier too. So glad you're here. And yeah, Vivi did mention Mr. Bushido during the live action. So shout out Mr. Bushido. You made it. You made it. That's pretty crazy. And €2 again. My God Fruit Chopper theory stocks way up. Yeah, maybe Chopper does have another mythical human fruit. I think that'd be cool. I kind of hope he doesn't, because I just like the whole thing where Chopper just has a regular human fruit, because just with this whole storyline of being this outcast reindeer thing, I like him having a regular human fruit, but I'm not going to rule out the possibility that there's more to it. I know I did a video a couple years ago now, which is crazy, about him maybe being the forest god, which would be Hito no Mi model something that's the forest god. So I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I'm not sure if he's going to end up as the forest god for real, but him having some weird mythical human fruit, I don't think is that crazy. I think that's very possible. Bushido, you said, Killingham reminds me of Buggy. I see where you're getting that from. He's almost like the, well, maybe it's just because it's his head. I was going to say his attitude, but really it's his head at this point. Because remember, well, Buggy can also have his head separated, his whole body separated. But even One Piece live action season 1, his head was getting taken everywhere and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of that too. So I see where you're seeing that from a couple angles. And then for €5, you said, so I think Domi Reversi Loki theory is dead. Chopper can undo him now. I think Emu will be recruiting new knights soon. Yeah, that's interesting to think about. Like, I think it really depends on like the mechanics of Domi Reversi. Like if we go with the idea that like another devil is like taking over their bodies or something loosely like that, then it might be that like Chopper was able to save that guy because it was like a weaker level demon or a weaker kind of person that Chopper could normally beat. And so maybe that's why he was able to do it. But when if Emu tries to do this to Loki, maybe Emu will put like a stronger devil or something within Loki so he can't be knocked out that easily. Or maybe because Chopper can't beat Loki normally, he also can't stop his Domi Reversi form or something. Like, I think there's a way that Oda could work around it. Because I think Domi Reversi Loki would be really, really hype. I know we talked about this in the Discord and maybe in the last stream. I think we did talk about it in the last stream, but if Loki gets Domi Reversi'd, I would love to see Nightmare Luffy come back. So that way we have two kind of powered up versions of, you know, each person going at each other. Because that would also let Luffy, you know, beat Loki to kind of mirror what Shanks did, and maybe Loki would respect Luffy enough to join the crew or something if that happened. So I like that, but yeah, with this chapter, I mean, maybe it is easier to end Domi Reversi than we think. And so maybe it won't work. I don't know. I kind of hope it does, but I don't know. Kuya Pixels, member for 30 months, the GOAT himself. 10 out of 10 chapter. Hashtag Loki for Nakama. Hashtag Ragnir for Nakama. It is cool that they're a combo deal. You know, it's a 2-for-1. If we get Loki, we also get Ragnir. So I'm with you. I was talking about this in the Discord earlier, but my kind of theory for Loki at this point is that he's probably going to tell the crew, like, just like Jinbei and Yamato, yes, I want to join, but I got to go do this first. And that, the thing he's got to go do, I think, is go save Gale Ra. And so that's where I'm at. He will become a crewmate, but he might just not be on the ship very much, which, like, Vivi's kind of in that same boat. Yamato might end up in that same boat eventually. No pun intended. So yeah, I do think he's going to be a crewmate. I mean, Grand Fleet's like a guarantee, or like minimum guarantee, but I do think he'll be a crewmate. He just won't be on the ship very often. It's kind of where I'm at. Grow Stonks with the $5 super chat. Chopper is the forest god. Stonks up. Yep, we were just talking about it. I'm glad you caught on to it too. And according to the Harley, was said to have tamed demons, like in this chapter. You're cooking. Wait, you're cooking. I didn't even make that connection. You are cooking. Could that be a hint that Chopper is the forest god? Because he did tame a demon. That's a good catch. That's a good catch. What else did you say? Also, Domi Loki is coming next chapter. I hope you're right. Or, well, next chapter, I'd like to live in this fight for a little bit, but I think he probably will. But that's a really good point. The taming demons. You're cooking. You are cooking. The forest god tamed demons, and Chopper just tamed a demon. That's a good catch, man. That's a good catch. That is a very, very good catch. I like that a lot, Growth. I really like that. That's a great catch. Because I always thought that was an Emu thing. But honestly, since we haven't learned this, but since it seemed more likely that Loki is the dragon at the top of the tree, then that made me start kind of looking at the mural a little bit differently than I did originally. And so now that it says the forest god tamed these demons in the second world, which like has the dragon and everything, and we're here in Elbaf learning about Domi Reversi and all that, maybe that is a Chopper hint in some way. And it also has me wondering if, you know how Frankie was blocking part of the tree? What if there's like a deer, like a reindeer at the bottom of the tree, and that's what we were missing, and it's because because Chopper is actually more important. I sort of doubt that. I still like that it's an entrance to the tree. But that forest god taming demons was mentioned in the second world, which is right above the tree. So it would sort of make sense that the forest god is implicated somewhere in the mural. So maybe Frankie is blocking the forest god. I think that would actually be kind of cool. But yeah, Growth, I'm with you, man. You're cooking. I'm with you. I'm with you for sure. Reese Lucas with another super chat. Thank you very much, Lonely Mage, for $5. I better hear Giant Stronghold Takeoff OST play in the anime this arc. I am going to look that up right now. Hold on. Giant. See, when you say, well, I was going to make a RuneScape reference. Whenever you say Giant Stronghold, the first thing I keep thinking of is the Gnome Stronghold from RuneScape, because I was just there last night doing a clue scroll. And there is also, well, there are giants. There isn't a giant stronghold. There's also a troll stronghold. But hold on, let me listen to this one. I don't remember that OST. Oh yeah, this one among others. This one among others, definitely. But this one has to be in there for sure. Like, when this fight's getting started, I think that song is almost perfect. That, because the fact it has that name, Giant Stronghold, which like isn't in reference to the giants, most likely at least. It's probably like the stronghold itself is giant. But it would be good to bring back this arc for that reason, like use it heavily. So I like that. I like that. Also, I heard somebody told me that one of the composers for One Piece has been hyping up the Loki OST that we're gonna get. I haven't heard I haven't seen the official word, but I just know he's been hyping it up. So that's a lot to look forward to. I can't wait to see or hear Loki's OST, or even Rox's OST whenever we get to it. That's gotta be ridiculous. Croderick, I mentioned this earlier, but member for 9 months. Chopper, Cure All Mushroom, Death equal Cure All. It would be very ironic if that's how it worked, for sure. Adam L, I read yours. I agree. 9.8 out of 10. Be a Plot, if I'm saying the name right. I know we've said this every time you've done a super chat. I'm gonna go with Be a Plot unless you correct me. For $10, we haven't really gotten a doomsday timer like we have in the climax of past arcs, like the Birdcage, Noah falling, Buster calls. Arc seems to be wrapping up with this big battle. Are we just getting started? That's a good point. That is a really good point. We usually do get like a timer, or like Onigashima, right? In Wano, like we knew Onigashima was falling. We had to hurry up and win before it fell, right? So that's a good point. We don't really have like the arc timer, or with Skypiea with the arc maxim, right? And now even the kids are saved, so we can't even argue that we're trying to wrap this up before the kids, walk off into the, realm of the dead or something like that. So, I mean, I was already thinking even before this that we are just getting started in this arc, because we haven't seen the Heaven Realm yet. And I mean, I know these are theories, but we haven't, had Big Mom or Kaido reappear in any way, shape, or form. Enel hasn't reappeared in any way, shape, or form. Yaruj hasn't appeared in any way, shape, or form. And maybe these guys just won't be involved. But I think it's kind of crazy that none of them would be involved in the arc yet. So I think we might just be getting started. I could see maybe Loki and Luffy send Imu back in the near term, because remember, Marijois is also burning right now. And then maybe Imu like regroups and comes back later in the arc while we figure out the Heaven Realm and stuff. Could be a little bit like Wano, where we fought Kaido at the start, but then Luffy lost, and then they had to fight him again later. So maybe it's that, but it could be like a little bit different. Like, I think the most likely thing, honestly, is that something happens that forces Imu to go back. Like, maybe it's Marijois burning so bad and Imu has to retreat. Or maybe, like, somebody has a special power that disconnects Imu and Gunko, which I don't know who. Maybe just, like, Brooks Music or something could do it. But I do think there's going to be something that gives us a little bit of a breather to, like I said, see the Heaven Realm, see Yaruj, hopefully. That's like my #1 agenda, or Enel or anybody else. Like all these extra things that we're thinking about, or Shiki potentially. They would all, we need a little bit of a breather, I think. So I don't know, because I think the other point that a lot of people think is like, well, the story's got to end sometime soon, right? Like we're in the final saga, we're approaching the end. How long are we going to be here? And I kind of look at that like the opposite of a lot of people, where Elbaf is such an important arc for the story that's been hyped up for so long. It's also like our last chance to have the crew together at an island for a focused, new island adventure, probably for the rest of the story, probably. Maybe Lodestar, maybe. So I don't think it's going to end that quickly, because Oda knows this is his, I don't want to say last hurrah, but it kind of is, right? Where he can, finding the One Piece, like he's kind of locked into just finishing those things. So I tend to think he's going to take his time this arc. So maybe there is going to be a little bit of a pause, but we'll see. We'll see. We will see. At least maybe it's hopium, because I definitely do want that to happen, but. Lol Sauce McGee, member for 38 months, which I think is the longest, or at least very close to the longest out of everybody. So Lol Sauce, appreciate you very much, bro. Yo, Poggers chapter, like the stream, bro. Thank you very much. Yeah, if y'all haven't liked the stream, that would help with the ever unforgiving algorithm. So thank you very much. But yeah, dude, this was a great chapter. Like, a lot of chapters have been great recently. But there's some chapters like this one that just get me really excited about the story again, which I'm always excited, but it just heightens it even more. Maybe the live action is playing a role in it, but great chapter, dude. Seriously, great chapter. Cloud Lizard, I see you got 3 in a row here. Thank you very much in advance, by the way. So for $5 for the first one, Chopper defended Asterisk and pushed him on his back. I think the game has attackers and defenders. Killing is the easiest way, but what if pinned on their back? Another $5. Oh wait, okay. I didn't know if these were connected. I don't think they are. So I do think that is interesting. Like, it's almost like, yeah, like what if there are kind of like, I don't even know how to put this. Like, there's some kind of rules to the. Oh, you okay, buddy? Move my chair and I scared Cliff a little bit. It's like there's rules to this that we don't really understand yet, right? Like, yeah, maybe there is, like, the reason he died or whatever, there is some, tie to the actual game of I don't even know, whatever they're doing, whatever games they're basing this stuff off of. I think that'd be kind of interesting. You also said, did anyone mention Zoro having a 6-pointed star versus 5? Sanji made a 4-pointed last chapter, Gorsayer 5. Does this help the more swords equal more mass? I didn't really think about that. Let me go, hold on, let me look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, like, it's interesting because... Is it a 6-pointed star? I guess, well, here, let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like it's 9. It's a 9-pointed star, which would actually fit Zoro, right? That he had more. Because he, there's an extra sword there. So I guess it's like 3 full slices, which cuts it into 9 pieces, I guess. But, and then with Sanji, I didn't even really make that connection. Let me go back. And also, guys, I know, earlier I was telling you that it got, like, that I was turning the air conditioner off. I don't know if you can tell, but it got really hot now in the room, so I'm going to go turn it back on. Give me one second. It's crazy. Like, whenever the heater kicks on, this room gets to, like, 1,000,000 degrees very, very quickly. But then when it turns off, it all goes away very, very quickly. So apologies, guys. Apologies. I am, like, drenched. It is not, it's a very awkward day here. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and look at Sanji real quick. You said he had a 4-pointed one last chapter. Let me go look. I don't see the 4-pointed star from Sanji per se. But maybe I'm just missing it. Like, I don't see it in his attack. I don't know if there was something in his wind-up that was maybe like that. But yeah, it is weird. It is weird for sure. So your idea at the end though, does this help more swords equal more mass? I guess that would make sense. Like, you know, I always take the more mass thing in terms of like the soul because we learned about the 21 grams. But I guess like from swords, well, swords are alive, right? Well, sort of. They're sort of alive. At least they have like a will of their own per se. So it would make sense then that more swords would have more mass, even just aside from the fact it's more metal. It's because they're alive or whatever. So I kind of like that. I kind of like that. About my room, I see a few comments here. That means your room is the buffer room. Yeah, well, you know, and part of it too is like the windows are really old in this house. And a goal of mine has been to replace all the windows at one point, and it's cheaper to do it all at once, but that's also very expensive because the windows are not very good. And so whatever air I put in here leaves the room immediately, like very quickly if it doesn't keep pumping it out. So like when the heat comes in, it's hot for like a minute and then it leaves. Air conditioner on, it's very cold until I turn it off. It's an old house, you know, we gotta figure some things out. It's not good. Then Cloud Lizard for $2. You said also Zoro will talk to swords like Mihawk in the live action. I love that idea. He didn't he already do it before? I'm trying to think of when. Maybe when he was fighting Mr. One, did he? Because the Breath of All Things started, did he like look at the swords and say something? I can't remember. But I like that. I like that that Zoro, I want Zoro to become almost like friends with his swords, right? To like know their like feelings or tendencies or whatever, right? Like, because Enma very clearly showed it has like a personality, right? Like Enma was sapping Zoro's power, demanding more from him, all that kind of stuff. I do think it'd be really cool if Zoro just actually started talking to him or could like hear what they were trying to say, right? Dustin Halo with the $2 super chat. We still don't know what Chopper's fruit is, so yeah, it like, you know, going back to what I've said about how like the panacea was supposed to be a mushroom and then Chopper's human fruit is a mushroom. Maybe it is more than we think because of that. Like maybe it's not the human fruit. It is literally like the, I don't want to say like the cure fruit, but it could be like the human fruit model, something that cures things or something, right? Yeah, like maybe his fruit really is the trick here. Like it's nothing more like, and it could also be that he's maybe starting to awaken, because this was also in Monster Point, which is like, it's not his awakening per se, but it's probably sort of like that, or at least like halfway there or something. I don't really know how to put it. I almost think of Chopper's Monster Point like Luffy's Gear 4, where he's like every gear, I think you could argue like got Luffy closer to awakening, because obviously his awakening is Gear 5, so you would kind of, you know, think that. Also Gear 4 has the God Ribbon thing and whatever. So I view the Monster Point in a similar way, where it's like Chopper's like stepping stone to it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there is something to it. All right, before I read Friend Harper's, I'm going to turn the air conditioner back off because now I'm freezing. Now you can see the predicament. Move, buddy. Yeah, move, buddy. Yeah, move. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. Right. Cliff is like not moving. he will not get up no matter what. Hopefully the room doesn't get too hot too quickly now, but it was getting really cold there. So at Friend Harper, I saw a few people responding to this earlier, so I feel like you're cooking, and I was wondering what you were saying, but I was trying to go in order. For $10, you said, just spitballing, but what if Emu rejecting their humanity, because that humanity, or just spitballing, but what if Emu rejecting their humanity caused that humanity to become a fruit? Chopper's fruit being Emu's humanity, the part of Emu that might have had compassion once long ago. I love that. I love that. I love that. I don't know how exactly that would work. Like, I think you're close. There might be, you know, a little bit of One Piece specific mechanics that kind of change what you're saying a little bit, but I like where you're getting at here. Like maybe Imu once upon a time was like a decent person, or like, you know, had empathy or something, and maybe that part of them was kicked out and turned into this fruit that we're seeing, which I think would be like such a cool plot line, you know. So like now Imu, and you know, actually you kind of think back to the Vegapunks, and actually this is where it gets really interesting. I think you think back to the satellites being different parts of Vegapunk's personality. Maybe Imu had to kick out certain parts of themselves to, you know, become this evil leader that they are or whatever. And those parts ended up being turned into fruits, or at least being, you know, given to other people in some way, which led to some of this. I think that alone is very interesting. Whether it leads to Chopper or not, I really like that, because with Vegapunk having, you know, different personality traits exemplified by the satellites, it's already been sort of set up. And I feel like there's been theories for a long time that the Gorosei could be like Imu satellites in a way. So I really like that. Again, I don't know. I think there's going to be some, you know, One Piece specific changes to that situation. Like Oda's going to add some twists, but I like that theme that you're saying in general, Friend Harper. I think you're cooking. Because I also think, similar to Kuma, whenever he pushed out people's pain, he said, like, well, it's not just going to disappear until somebody absorbs it, right? Like, it's not just going to go off into space and never bother anybody. And so you could almost look at this the same way. Like, imagine Imu had their compassion pushed out of them, and then they were like, well, you know, what are we going to do with this? Like, somebody's got to take it. Like, it can't just float around for eternity. It's going to be absorbed by somebody. And maybe they turned that into a fruit in some way, and that's part of what we're seeing. I really like that in some way. Again, I don't know what the One Piece mechanics are going to be to kind of change that, but just that general idea I really, really like. Friend Harper, you said, I was thinking about how a shadow can be pulled from a body, but what if the opposite happened? Like the body pulled from the shadow? That might be what Domi Reversi's doing. Like the body is going to the underworld, the shadow's being pulled out and used to, I don't know, in some way, shape, or form in what we're seeing. It does feel like something like that's going on. Some weird twist of mechanics that we've already seen, right? Like, these are new powers, but I'm wondering if they're all derived from things we're very aware of already. Shadows. I mentioned Kuma pushing out, you know, intangible parts of themselves and stuff like that. Like, I think you're onto something, Friend Harper, for sure. I think you're cooking. Alejandro Solis with the $5 super chat. We'll look back at the reaction, but the mole fixing the earth and having Robin flower fruit planting the seeds of the future mega theory. I didn't even go that far. I didn't even think about that, but you are also cooking, my friend. Let me go back and look at the beginning of this, because actually, I'm going to revise my rating for the chapter one more time. It was originally a 10. I went down to maybe a 9.5, back to a 9.8. It's back to a 10. I forgot that the cover page had moles on it, so that is automatic 10. It might actually be 11 out of 10, to be real with you. It might be above. This might be resetting the scale. But I didn't even really think about that it's Robin with the moles, and she has the flower fruit, and she's planting flowers. That's great. That's just it's very wholesome. It's very wholesome. And yeah, like, you could look at it like you said, like planting the seeds of the future. You could kind of think of it that way too. Like maybe once Pluton does its thing and blasts a bunch of holes through the planet to help us save the world, we'll have to go and replant or like reconstruct a lot of the damage from those holes. Is maybe like a deeper, you know, analysis you could kind of think of it. Yeah, I love this. And you know, if I was gonna add another theory layer onto it to maybe boost the mole stocks just a little bit, Robin knows probably more about Pluton than anybody. And Oda has her here hanging out with the moles. You know, she talked to Sukiyaki about it. She read the Alabasta Poneglyph. Maybe she's here because, you know, she knows what that Pluton is one of these. You never know. You never know. Dustin Halo with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. Chopper having a demon taming fruit aligns with his dream to cure every disease. If we consider Domi Reversi a disease, completely agree. And that's why I really like that earlier in the arc, Chopper, like, when he saw the immortality stuff, he immediately was like, wait, this isn't supposed to be possible. How are they immortal? I need to go figure this out. And he brought it up like 3 separate times. And obviously, again, Kureha is really old, has a secret to it that nobody cared to learn about. I feel like there's a connection in some way, shape, or form. And so I like what you're saying is like Domi Reversi could also be a disease. And so, you know, we talked a little bit earlier about him, like, you know, like whenever he's saving these people, is he like kicking out the soul, kicking out the shadow or whatever? Well, it's kind of like he's kicking out the disease, like in the most basic way, right? He's kicking out what the harmful thing that's affecting them, which is what a doctor does, you know, in a more figurative sense most of the time. So I really like that. I love that Oda's kind of bringing back the that, you know, panacea thing, but in a much different way. I think that's very, very cool. So yeah, I'm a big fan. Growth Stonks with the $5 super chat. Another thing is Road might be dressed as the forest god, not sun god, which is why he looks like Chopper. Oh, dude, yep. Growth, you're cooking today, dude. Big time. Which is why he looks like Chopper, just like Loki mixing up the sun and war god. Yeah, that's a good catch. That's a very good catch, because it is interesting that at the start of the arc, the sun god supposedly had like a deer skull, right? That always did feel kind of weird, but maybe it is tied to this forest god stuff. And you got to think, like, what's like the most iconic part of Elbaf's island geographically? The Adam Tree. So it would make sense that the forest god is also tied to here. And, you know, they also worship the sun god. And if Chopper was the forest god, then it could also be a sign that, like, the sun god and forest god are, like, allies or were friends or are supposed to be friends. I'm smelling what you're stepping in, Growth. Big time. Big time. Big time. Kebab 3162, you said wasn't here for the reaction. What were your thoughts on the Usopp gas? I thought it was gas. Exactly what you said is what I thought. Loved it. 10 out of 10. I really don't have any notes other than it was great. I said a lot more during the reaction, so if you want to go back and look, but I loved it. I loved that very, very much. We've all been waiting for the Usopp hype. It came up at the right time. Standing up to people he has no business standing up to, you know, and Luffy noticing that, and we always just got to trust Oda with this stuff, you know. He like, we were all waiting for it, and he delivered. Sugar Rush with the $2 super chat. How come Loki didn't know what rubber is if he's Nika? Well, that's the thing, is like he calls himself the sun god, and like I'm pretty sure, didn't Jarl say that like the sun god was a guy with a rubbery body or whatever? So I think they know that there's like a rubber part to it, because Loki's called himself the sun god, but he hasn't called himself Nika necessarily, which I think, like, they are the same, but they might not be in certain contexts, you know? So I'm wondering if, like, I don't really know. I wonder if they just don't have rubber in Elbaf, and he just doesn't know that rubber is, you know, like, immune to electricity. I think that's probably it, because remember in Skypiea, they didn't have rubber either. Now, again, I'm pretty sure Jarl said that Nika had a rubbery body. And so you would think that they knew about it. But regardless, maybe they just don't have rubber in Elbaf, so they weren't aware of the immunity to electricity at a bare minimum. That is my kind of guess. Andy, you said they knew he was stretchy, but not necessarily rubber. That would make the most sense, because I feel like one of the translations I saw said rubbery body, but that could just be a way of translating stretchy body. You know what I'm saying? So either way, I'm definitely leaning towards Elbaf just not having a lot of rubber, kind of like Skypiea, which, you know, Sky Islands and Elbaf are kind of connected. And so maybe they just never had it, and so they didn't know about those properties. That's like the easiest answer, I think. Because that's also why Enel was so confused, because the Sky people never had it, right? Growth, you said it said that Nika had the body with the properties of rubber. I think that's how they worded it too. But maybe Loki just doesn't know all the specifics. I don't know. I feel like it is a little bit of a weird conundrum right now. I'm guessing he just doesn't know that rubber is immune to electricity. I think that's the biggest takeaway, I'm thinking. Because maybe they just never had it. I don't know. Mavyuka Forever. I don't think I'm saying that right. I apologize if I butchered that, but thank you either way for the super chat. I feel having an interlude in the Heaven Realm would be amazing. Give us a chance to bring Vivi in. Yes, absolutely yes. And up the stakes with Emu after her specifically. Yes, you said all the stuff I didn't say earlier. I completely agree, because we need to have Vivi in this arc. I think I brought up all the other people except for her, I believe. But she's maybe the biggest one. And so if she were to show up and we got a breather from the Emu situation, then that would give a good chance for Vivi to be like, hey, some stuff happened at the Reverie you need to know about. Here's what happened in the past, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't be surprised if Sabo even pulled up, or at least called, because remember, Cobra wanted him to tell Vivi that the Nefertari are of the D. And so I do think we need a little bit of a breather. Vivi's probably the number one. Like, I want to see Yarouge real bad, and Kaido and Big Mom, whatever, but Vivi's probably the number one. So I completely agree with you. Vivi learning some lore and sharing some lore is, like, very important. And then, remember how Emu wanted to retrieve Vivi? Or wanted the Gods Knights or Gorosei to do it? I could see us getting a breather, talking to Vivi, Emu shows back up, and then we're able to, like, broker a deal where they take Vivi. And I say broker a deal, like, not like the Straw Hats want to do it, but I think Vivi will be like, hey, let me just go with her. You do your thing. Come save me. Here's the plan. Something like that. You know, I could see her setting up a rescue mission on purpose or something. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get a little bit of a breather. That would make the most sense to me. I don't know how long that breather will be, though. It could just be a few chapters. We could be here for 10 or 20, getting to learn all sorts of lore. And, like, because, like, if Yarouge and Enel also come down and get involved, we guaranteed are going to have a little bit of a Burka flashback as well. So I think there's a lot of stuff for Oda to still tell us that's very prevalent for this arc. So I feel pretty confident we're gonna have a pause, I think. Growth, you said Emu's gonna Domi, Reversey, Loki, and dip. I could see that too. Like, Emu's like, all right, I gotta go because my castle's on fire, but here, Loki, you keep him busy. Like, I could see that too, for sure. Alexander Fiorello with two $2 super chats. Thank you actually two $2 and then $5. I just saw the one up there. So thank you very, very much. First off, I love Frankie always trying to brag about Luffy. Yes. Like, you know, I hate bringing this up, but for me, Frankie's probably like towards the bottom of my favorite Straw Hats, and it's not because I don't like him. It's just somebody's got to be at the bottom. It's just by default. And he also said that Brook might not rejoin the crew, and that's blasphemous, but that's a whole other story for another day. But some of these moments this chapter, like, if we got that more often, Frankie would probably be near the top for me, because I love how much he stands Luffy. Like, all the Straw Hats do, but Frankie might do it more than anybody else. Like, Usopp stands the Straw Hats in general a lot, like when he's, you know, even here with, like, the Brook thing, right? Like, Usopp does it a lot too. But the way Franky stands Luffy specifically, right? Always saying he's going to be the Pirate King, saving him from Saturn and all that stuff. I love it. That's one of my favorite things about Franky for sure. And then you also said excited for when Loki becomes afraid of Nami. I think that's going to happen too. Especially because like Nami has lightning powers, and I wonder if that'll be a little bit of a... Not that Loki will get hurt by them or anything, but Loki might be like, "Oh my god, you can control lightning too? Oh, you're terrifying. Stop. You know, I don't want to like how are you so, you know, how are you able to do that? I had to eat this legendary fruit." Like I could see him reflecting on it, you know, interestingly. So, I'm with you. And then you also said, Dak, did you notice that after Chopper hits that giant, it's almost like the evil or the shadow from Domi Reversi got knocked out of him? Yes. I'm not sure like, I think the way you described it is accurate. I don't know what's really happening there. Like, is that a shadow that was controlling this guy? Or is it like, I don't even know what else, because a shadow is the first thing I think of, because we've been exposed to that a lot, right? And so I think that could work, but like is it as simple as that, or what is even happening? And even if it was a shadow, why is it getting knocked out from a slap? You know, I don't know. It's such an interesting thing. It'll make sense eventually, but I love when Oda introduces stuff like this and we are just like at a loss for words on how to analyze it. And then later he gives the backdrop and we're like, oh, now we can go back and, you know, recontextualize the situation. Yeah, I mean, something definitely got kicked out of that guy. And it's obviously the Domi Reversi spirit, power, whatever you want to call it, shadow. But the specifics of it are lost on me right now, man. I don't know what that is. That's some new stuff right there. This ain't your dad's One Piece anymore. It might be your dad's One Piece if it ends up being a shadow, because it goes back to Thriller Bark. But I don't think this is your dad's One Piece anymore. I think this is some new shenanigans. And then last but certainly not least, at least last for now, Debus with the Canadian $7. If the mountains in Drum are cut down Adam trees, that's the perfect place to find the forest god fruit. Okay, you're cooking. I didn't even think about that connection. I may have actually said something like that in one of my videos where I brought this. I can't remember now exactly what I said, but I didn't think that they would all be Adam trees, and I like that actually. Because the theory about, you know, the mountain eater thing from Scopper, like those being trees and all that connecting, like that's always been, or like the mountains in Drum actually being trees, that's always been a theory since that chapter came out. But them being Adam trees, because we learned that there were multiple, that I didn't really think about. I think maybe the problem with that is then it would mean that Scopper cut down a bunch of Adam trees, and not that that's like impossible, but that would sort of reduce the feat of somebody cutting down this Adam tree later, and I like to kind of keep that hype up for a big thing like that. But either way, I like that. I like the idea that regardless of whether they're Adam trees or just other big trees, that's where the forest god fruit would be. That I love. That makes a lot of sense. And that I think actually pushes the chance that those were actually trees before, for sure. And actually, to go even another level, we learned from Dr. Hiraluk, the actor did a great job in the live action for Dr. Hiraluk, by the way. That dude gets a triple S tier rating from me. And it actually should be quadruple S, because if you guys didn't know, the actor for Dr. Hiraluk is named Mark Heralick. And that is just insane. I just think that is like that is very serendipitous. One of my favorite words. But remember, Dr. Hiraluk also found the cherry blossom trees that cured his disease, right? And we learned later that, you know, they cured the heart of a country by using his experiment to make the one where the castle was. They made that look like a cherry blossom tree because of like the tree stump and whatever, which I think boosts the idea that those were actually trees. But going back to the forest god idea, we've already had, you know, certain kinds of trees healing incurable diseases. And so I just think it kind of does make a lot of sense that like Chopper probably should be the forest god, you know, at this point. Like, it would sort of make sense. He is so closely tied to trees and obviously the forest, but like the cherry blossom tree curing people, that's like the biggest thing, right? And so that would sort of lead me to believe, like, yeah, maybe he should, like, he also wants to cure everything. We've seen that, like, a cherry blossom tree cured an incurable disease, cured the heart of a country. And so Chopper kind of needs to take up the mantle, you know, so he needs to be the forest god so he can channel the power of the cherry blossom trees in a way, right? Yeah. Yeah, you're cooking. You're cooking. Yeah, I like where you're getting at there. I'm smelling what you're stepping in for sure. And that could be why Blackbeard was there. I forget what video I brought this up in, but that could be why Blackbeard was there. He knew that the cure-all devil fruit was there. He's a devil fruit hunter already. And the fact Blackbeard's there makes me think that Chopper's fruit is more important than we think. So yeah, I'm with you. Oh, and BZ6, you're saying the same thing I just said. I promise I did not see that first. I think it just came through anyway, but you said maybe Blackbeard knew Chopper's fruit would be a key part in helping the battle against Emu and destroy Drum Kingdom looking for it. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. It could be either that he wanted it maybe for himself because he could maybe almost like cure himself of Domi Reversi, which is a very cool way to think about it. Yeah, the fact Blackbeard went there makes me think that like Chopper's fruit's got to be more important. So yeah, no, great thoughts for sure. Mary Tale, you said One Piece is actually a tree piece all along. Tekking was right. Tekking, no, one-on-one, always bet on Tekking lore. I agree with you, Alejandro. No, Tekking's the GOAT for sure. I mean, he's always said geography is everything, and that's been right since the first time he said it. That is one of the truest statements on the Tekking channel. I remember when I was watching Tekking before I made a channel and he was saying that, I was like, dude, you're so right. Like, I know it's kind of a joke, but I know he's also half serious. I was like, dude, you're so right. The only thing I would add is that timelines are also everything. Time and place. But geography is maybe even more of everything, to be honest. Plume Black Hat said, I have a serious problem with the idea that Emu doesn't know his weaknesses. Well, I'm thinking part of it is that like Emu might not fully understand like remember how Emu reacted a couple chapters ago and was like, Nidhogg, it's been here the whole time. I'm wondering if Emu just isn't like fully aware of like who has what fruits in a way. So like maybe Emu knows like what their weaknesses are, but doesn't know that certain people can tap into their weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. GG said Emu can be an arrogant, childlike entity. I think that's definitely what it is. And actually going back to the idea that Emu could have like removed parts of their personality or kind of like with Vegapunk in some way, either like their humanity or whatever else, that could match it too, because maybe Emu is kind of arrogant and childlike because parts of them have been removed, and maybe parts of them being removed is also why they're like unaware of certain things. Maybe, I don't know. It's an interesting puzzle for sure. Well, guys, this was such a good chapter. I feel like I said it a bunch of times, but genuinely, I'm real pumped. Like one of my buddies is he's coming over to watch the Cavs tonight. 'Cause we're about to beat up on the Chicago Bulls, and he's not caught up on the manga yet. He started to he caught up on the anime. He's starting to get caught up on the manga. But tonight's definitely going to be a night where I'm in his ear the whole time, like, dude, today's chapter was so good. I need you to get caught up right now. You know, there's some chapters where that happens where I'm like, bro, I need you. I need you to get. We're waiting for you. You know, we're waiting for you. It's like Luffy telling Jinbei, "We're waiting for you in Wano." It's the same thing. I'm like, dude, I'm waiting for you in Elbaf. Definitely gonna be another chapter where I do that for sure. BZ6, you said, do you think if we ever get to see the Heaven Realm, Loki will have a problem with the giants who stay up there and their old philosophies and how they think? If the Heaven Realm holds those, like, I call them the Gorosei of Elbaf, those, like, old silhouetted elders that, like, wouldn't let Ida stay in the castle and all that. If those guys are in the Heaven Realm, Loki's going to have a lot of beef with them. He is going to be very angry. Like, if there was a real threat to Elbaf's, like, permanent existence, it might be Loki based off what those guys tell him. Like, if Loki goes up there and they have a bad conversation. Remember how Loki, like, burnt the alcohol village down towards the end of the flashback and stuff? I could see him being in the Heaven Realm and having the same energy. Like, if he meets those guys, he's going to be like, all right, y'all need to stop talking or I'm about to blow this whole place up. You know what I mean? I think he's going to hate them. He's going to attribute his mom's death to them, her suffering of not being in the castle to them. He's going to be really angry, assuming they're up there. If there's, like, other just random giants, I'm not sure what he'll think, but if there's those leaders, oh man. I think those guys are really bad guys, so I'm not going to say, like, I feel bad, but in normal circumstances, I would feel bad because Loki will not hold back against like, you saw what he did in the alcohol village. He's going to do 10 times worse to those guys, so, yeah. Holmesian, you said, I feel that, Dak. I've got nobody over here, so join the Discord and like the stream to help lonely One Piece fans have other people to talk to. Best guys, till next time. Holmesian, I appreciate you very, very much. Seriously, thank you. Yeah, guys, if you want to join the Discord, definitely do. And same thing with liking the stream. But yeah, Holmesian, seriously, that means a lot to hear from you. Seriously, thank you very, very much. I know for me, that was part of why I got into One Piece too, is I mean, some of my real life friends were into it, but not that many. And even the ones who were into it, they weren't as, like, hype about everything as I was. So it was good to find, like, a community to talk to about this stuff. And today's definitely one of those weeks where I'm just like I just want to keep talking about this, you know? Like, there's so many theories that come out of this, or even just, like, thematic elements to kind of break down and stuff. So yeah, this is a hell of a chapter for sure. We're on the precipice of some big stuff, guys. Like, I don't want to say, like, the final war has begun, because in some ways I think it already has. And if you don't think it has, I don't know if this is going to really be the start, but it feels like we're kind of getting there, you know? So this is going to be a big deal, this matchup. This is Luffy versus Emu round 1. If you needed another sign that we're getting towards the end of the story, I mean, this is it, right? This is definitely it. We're getting closer. I know we talked about there being I think there's going to be a kind of a lull, like, we'll fight Emu for a little bit, Emu might leave, whatever. So it's not like the end is right here, but this is a clear sign we're getting close, man. Luffy versus Emu, that's some crazy stuff. Also, I just noticed the cutest thing. If you go to the final double page spread here with Loki overlooking Gunkmoo and Luffy and all them, you can see Ragnar on his head. He's, like, real small, but I just love it. I just love Ragnar being cute. Like, this giant dragon flying around with a squirrel on his head. That's One Piece for you. You know? That's exactly what One Piece is known for, is just random stuff like that. I just love it. Plume Blackhat, you said, I want angry Usopp from now onwards. Same. I liked Usopp being as angry as he was. We need to keep that energy. I don't know if, you know, the Ragnar theories are going to come true at some point. Like, maybe Loki gets reversied. Ragnar doesn't want to listen to him because he can tell that Loki's not the same anymore. Usopp's like, I got you. Usopp hits Loki with the hammer. Loki loses his Domi Reversi form, just like we saw Chopper cause the other guy to lose it. Boom, that's how Usopp becomes Brave Warrior of the Sea. Boom. You guys got it. Honestly, I kind of just came up with that on the spot, but that feels so likely. I'm kind of scared. I feel like that's actually what's going to happen. Honestly. 3-Day, you said, so good to see everyone. Great chapter. Thanks, Dak. No, thank you, 3-Day. Seriously, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad to see you again. I hope you have been well, 3-Day. It's been far too long, but thank you for being here. So glad to hear from you. As if this chapter wasn't good enough already, we also had 3-Day make her return, which is amazing. So thank you, 3-Day. We'll have to catch up sometime if you're down, because it's been so long. But I'm glad to hear from you. But yeah, guys, this was seriously a top tier chapter. I'm super excited to see where this goes next. We don't have a break this week, so that means we're going to be back next week with another chapter, which is awesome. I don't know if I'm going to do a video on this just because we have the chapter next week, so I'd have to do it pretty quick. I think I might focus on this live action video that I've been thinking about. I also just saw that I don't know if you're here, Dilcor, but he messaged me during the reaction, was like, hey, if you want to do a video on this, I'm not going to be free this weekend, so which is not a problem. So if he's busy too, I'll probably just focus on my live action one anyway, but reaction next week for sure. I tentatively want to do a redacted episode. I got to see who's available, or I might just do it myself. I feel like I've said this a bunch of times, and I kind of need to get comfortable with it because it's easier. Like, I'm not always able to find a partner to talk to, so I need to get comfortable doing it myself just so I can do those. So tentative redacted video coming. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested. But otherwise, guys, make sure you join the Discord if you haven't already for some more One Piece discussions. I know I'll be in there talking about this a little bit later. So thank you, guys. Seriously, appreciate you. I'm heading out for today. I got to go get some more stuff done. I am starving also. I just walked the dogs earlier. Told you I went for a run as well. It's time to go get some food. So thank you, guys, as always. Everyone, please stay safe out there. As I say, sadly, every stream now, the world's not getting any safer. It's getting the exact opposite. So, guys, wherever you're at in the world, please stay safe.